Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Worth It, the show where we check out 3 different AKs and 3 different I'm just kidding. BuzzFeed, please don't sue me. I'm just kidding. But guys, welcome back to a new series here on the channel. We're going to be doing 3 different guns at 3 different price points. We're going to have the cheapest, pretty much. Then we're going to have a mid-tier build, and then we're going to have the end game build. So today we're going to start off with the AK-74N, which in my opinion is like one of the most staple guns to Tarkov. Everybody uses it, everybody knows it, it's an iconic gun. So we're going to get into these builds right away. I'm going to give you guys a look at the first one here, which is the Worth AK-1. We just have a WASR on there for the handguard. Then we have a butt pad, an RK-3 for the extra ergonomics because it gives you tons of ergonomics. The EKP, the butt pad, and the RP1 just for that extra little bit of ergonomics. So this AK, we go into the preset menu and I just open up the preset for this Worth AK-1. And then if we go to the AK here and hit buy parts. Oh, hang on. I need to select that little menu, otherwise it wants to build the entire gun or buy the other parts. So these are all the attachments here. Please bear in mind that these prices are not going to include the price of the gun. This is going to be the price for the attachments for that gun. We're not including the cost of the weapon. We're making the assumption that you already have the weapon or you're just going to buy it to go and mod it. So you're looking at 39k for all of these attachments to make the gun. Definitely a lot better than its standard version. You're getting a little scope in there. You've got a bunch of extra ergonomics and a decent amount of recoil reduction. And all for pretty damn cheap too. So you're looking at 39k for this build. This would be great for starters. Great for the early game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this into raid. I'm going to go kill a couple of scavs with it, and I'll give you guys a look at how the weapon performs. So here we are in factory. Just going to go find a couple of scavs, and I'll show you guys how she performs. It's pretty nice. It felt a lot better than I thought it would. That's for sure. It doesn't really have all that much recoil. Now, there is one thing I need to say to you guys. My recoil control skill is pretty high. But even with it, you know, even having like the lower-ish side of like the recoil control skill, you should still be able to manage pretty well with this gun. One thing I would recommend is maybe like before you take shots at like a decent range, just crouch, just to get that aim cone just a little bit tighter, you know what I mean? And of course, if you ever have the opportunity, you always want to hit prone before you take some shots. So yeah, pretty good for tap firing, pretty good for full auto. I'll give you guys a look now actually what my recoil control skill is, because I know people are going to be asking. I'm actually at 43, so I'm getting 39% recoil reduction. So that'll just be one thing for you guys to keep in mind. Oh shit. But yeah, I actually really like the EKP sight. A lot of people don't. I think it's a pretty nice sight. I always use this in the early game because it's super cheap. You'll find yourself going broke if you're trying to buy like rails and PK06s all the time. But if you've got a dovetail mount on your AK, slap this on it. You got a couple of different crosshair options on it. And yeah, it's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rattle off a 60 rounder or some of it over there towards that door just so you guys can see. Same as many other guns, you just have that initial recoil and all you want to do is get your mouse, and when you start shooting, just pull down. That's all you want to do. Just pull down a little bit and you'll control it, no problem. All right, so that's the first gun. Let's move on to the second. Alrighty, so now we're moving on to the Worth AK number 2. So this AK is a decent bit more expensive, but it also has an optic on it. Now, one thing I would like to say, this optic, the Elcan, you are looking at $332. So you're looking at about 30k for this optic. You can opt to just remove the optic and put on whatever you want. You could put a Weaver on there. You could put a PK06. You could put an RMR. You could put a Valde. You could put a Bravo. You could put whatever you want. But for me, I like the Elcan. It's a simple sight. I think a lot of people like it too. It's relatively well priced, around 30k for what it does. So I'm going to give you guys a look at the mods and what exactly goes into it. So let me just open that up here for you guys real quick. Also, massive shout out to chat for helping me get all this worked out yesterday. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. So again, I literally put the black stock on there just for aesthetic reasons. You can just leave the wood stock on there if you want. It has the rubber butt pad, the RK3 again, for that extra ergonomics boost, because ergonomics is super important in this game. Very, very important. We also have the PWS CQB7. Again, it's like one of the best compensators you can get in the game, just hands down. Now, this is where the differences come in. We've got ourselves a B10 mount, and on that B10, I've chosen to put an RVG on there. Yes, it doesn't have as much recoil control as the RK1, but it gives you extra ergonomics, which is very, very nice. We also have an X400 flashlight laser combo on this side here. Again, this is optional. You can save yourself 20k on the price of the gun by taking this off. Same thing with the optic. The optic is optional. You can put whatever you want on there. You can even choose to put a PSO on here if you want, or an OKP. If you like those optics, you can do that as well. Also, the RP1, this is optional too. You can take this off. You can leave it on if you want. It's up to you. So yeah, this is pretty much it. And then when I go to assemble it, include parts that you have, yes, you're looking at 100k. So you've got the, again, this stock is optional. This is optional. This you need. The Bastion's dust cover, I would not recommend using a TT10K rail. It costs way too much money. The Bastion is cheaper than the other one, the PDC, I believe, but the PDC is better. But the Bastion for 6k is great if you just want to get an optic on the rail. You're looking at the RVG for $75 from Peacekeeper level 2, I believe, 2 or 3. Then the RK3 AK pistol grip for the extra ergonomics. The X400 flashlight if you need a flashlight on interchange or on shoreline, or if you're doing nighttime raids, or if you want the laser, it also doubles as a laser. And then again, the PWS, you're looking at 11k. The B10 for just over 14k, and then the Elcan for $332. But as I said, you can swap out the Elcan for anything else. You're looking at 100k for a really effective gun that you can use long range, no problem. You put this thing on single shot, you just tap heads, you know, from a pretty decent distance away with that Elcan. So I'm gonna get into raid. I'm gonna give you guys a look at how the gun performs. I'm gonna see you guys in there. Alrighty, and here we are. So what I like to do with the Elcan is I'll leave it on the 1x setting. I do the very same thing with the Valde. And I'll just use this to just tap heads. I'll even do this on factory. Like, people ask me all the time, why do you bring a scope to factory? For situations like fighting in the glass corridor, for situations like this spot up here, I'll show you now in a second, once I clear this out a little bit. I think there's people in the hallways there. Yeah. For exactly situations like that where people are down there, if you're using an optic, if you're using an optic and they don't have one, you're going to be at a huge advantage over the guys that aren't running scopes. Now, oh, he's above me. I'm not saying that you can't do factory with a PK06 or whatever, but this is just how I like to run it. God, wasn't expecting him to be there. And then, of course, you've got the laser, just for improving your point firing accuracy when you get into those CQB situations. Obviously, some scenarios you don't always want to have the laser on because you'll give away your position. For example, one quick tip here. If you know there's a guy there, I wouldn't hold your laser here. What you could do is line up where you think the guy's going to be, turn your laser off, wait for him to come around the corner, or just hold it here and then flick it over to his head so you're not giving away your position before he peeks you. I had somebody ask me about that in chat yesterday. I was like, oh, doesn't your laser just give you away all the time? There's definitely a method. There's definitely like a correct method to using lasers, and a lot of the time they'll get you killed, but if you know how to use it correctly, then it'll put you at a pretty decent advantage. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to do the same thing I did last raid. I'm just going to empty off some rounds into that door down there. So, same again. All you got to do, really, is your ADS on where you want to go. As soon as you start, like, if you want a full auto from this distance, you really need to pull down just hard again. So, pull down, and then control your own aim from there. But again, if you put this thing on single tap, you can just, like, you can tap it pretty quickly. You're not even looking at like a, yeah, it takes no time at all for your aim to reset after the recoil kicks in, which is the nice thing. So You can also put a suppressor on this if you want, like a TPG or something like that. And you can just use this thing to tap heads from like a really long distance. The Elkin has decent range to it. And then you have the 1X for scenarios like in the glass corridor or in the office hallways there, or for like even PvP and shoreline. I always recommend people bring a variable optic to shoreline. So you have that kind of 1X setting, or not 1X setting, but whatever this setting is. Or whatever this setting is, and then you have the magnified one. So say like you're fighting across Glass Bridge, or you're fighting out by like the radar station or something like that, you have a little bit of range to be able to scope people out and stuff. So there you go. That is the Worth AK number 2 coming in at 100k. And now for the grand finale, we have the meta, the meta AK-74N. So this is the best AK-74N that you can build. It's got a lot going on. I'm just going to get into the modding menu, guys, and give you a quick look at everything. So we got our Worth AK number 3. So this is all the bells and whistles, right? So you've got the RK3, you've got the Zukov stock, which is the best in slot stock. You've got the Bravo with the PK06. You've got some long range, and then you've got some CQB optics here if you like it. You also have the X400 laser there. Again, you can swap that out for whatever laser you like if you don't like running flashlights. I like running flashlights as well as having a laser as a backup as well. We have the CMRD with the B25U RK1. So that's the RK1 on the canted grip mount or whatever. And yeah, we also have the, what's this thing? The AK-12 standard mag, or STD mag, I guess, whatever it's called. For that extra ergonomics. So I'm gonna give you guys a look at the stats on this one. You're looking at 49, 128 with 69 ergo. So there's a lot of ergo in this AK. Again, the optic is optional. So is the compensator here. You can put a suppressor on here. You can put another comp on there if you want. This is also optional. This is personal preference. This gives you a little bit less recoil reduction than the RK2, but it also gives you that extra ergonomics boost as well. Same thing with the magazine. If you want to run 6L31s in this, you can. But once you swap in a 6L31, your ergonomics drops to 61 instead of 69. So if you like to run 30 rounders and you want to be able to raise your gun a little bit faster and manipulate your weapon a little bit quicker, I would recommend going for this mag instead. So there you have it. Also got the RP1 in there for that extra ergonomics boost again. So yeah, I'm going to assemble it, show you guys the price of it. So you are basically looking at 214k. Now, as I said, the foregrip, you don't have to use the RK1. You can use an RK2. You can use an RK1. It's up to you. This is just literally the best you can build. Again, you can swap out the optic for something that you like. I also have the PDC cover on here. You can use a Bastion instead and save yourself 10k if you want. You're just going to lose out on the ergo and the accuracy bonus on there. So yeah, that is it. This is the best in slot AK-74N that you can build as of the current patch, which is 12.2 or something like that we're on right now. So yeah, there you have it. And all of this for 214k 600 rubles. So 214k and some change. So I'm going to bring this into raid again. I'll give you guys a look at how it performs. I'll see you guys in raid. And here we are. So I'm going to try and show you guys just exactly what I mean about having like the ergonomics being high on these guns and not being high. So the easiest way to show you, I feel, is once I use this mag, you'll see the difference in my ADS speeds and even scope switching speeds, I feel like. Also, I don't know why the audio is so... I don't know why the audio is so bugged in offline mode as well. It's like you get that doubled effect for some reason. It's weird. Not really sure why. Perfect. Thank you, buddy, for being at a distance so I could use the Bravo. Appreciate you, dog. So yeah, just keep in mind while you're watching the speed at which I'm ADSing and stuff. All right, I'm just gonna dump the rest of this mag out, and then we're gonna throw in the 60 rounder. So it's a little bit slower, but it's not super noticeable, but I would still recommend it. It's definitely saved my ass a couple of times. But yeah, this is a really nice AK. You can clear pretty much any content in the game with it. Super easy. Depending on what ammo you're using, that is the biggest factor. And I feel like that's something that a lot of new players really struggle with. Because, like, you can build 10 of these guns exactly how I have it right now. And yes, in theory, you'll have the best in slot AK in the game. You know, lowest recoil, you know, great ergonomics, all this other stuff. And then if you load that thing with PRS, some guy with a bare bones AK with PS rounds in it will outgun you. You know what I mean? If you're going to run a gun like this, please save budget for either Eagle Nick rounds, BT rounds, or BS rounds. If you're going to run a gun this expensive, you want to make sure that the rounds that you're firing out of it also match the quality of the gun. If you know what I mean? Like, if you're running that first Worth AK and you want to put, you know, if you want to put like relatively trash rounds into it, that's fine, because the gun only costs you like 30-40k to mod. But like, if you're running this AK and you're going to lose, you know, 250k when you die, you don't want to fill this thing with PRS rounds. You want to fill this gun with something that will kill people. So right now in this, I have BS. I usually use Eagle Nick or BS. I've actually moved away from using BTs. I found they've been actually letting me down a bit recently. So, and they're also not great for giving away your position as well on certain maps where you don't want that to happen, like specifically Reserve or Shoreline. But again, I'm just going to shoot like at that wall down there, and you guys can see what the recoil is like. So as you can see, it's fairly non-existent. You'll notice as well, the lower your recoil gets, not only the initial kick is lowered, but also the spread is actually lowered as well. So I'm just going to shoot at that wall, and I'm not just going to hold my mouse in the air so you guys can see. I'm not controlling that at all. And as you can see, again, very similar to almost every other gun in this game. As soon as you get that initial kick out of the way, and you just pull down, you can just control it super easily from there. So there you have it, guys. That is the best in slot AK. So you've got the cheaply modded one that's still very effective. I'm not trying to say it's not just because it's cheap. It's still a very effective gun. And then you've got the mid-tier gun, which again, super effective. It's a great gun. And then you have obviously the best in slot super meta AK or whatever that you'll find on Super Sweaty Boys every now and again. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this was going to help like some newer players figure out some builds that they want to play with. Big shout out to chat yesterday that gave me a massive hand with putting these guns together. Stay tuned for the next episode. The next episode is going to be M4s. And we built what I think is probably one of the coolest looking M4s I've ever seen for the tier 2 M4 build. And it also only costs around 100 to 120k. So it is very cool. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that as I make that scav take a nap. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. Can you guys not interrupt me while I'm trying to do my outro? If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to subscribe if you guys enjoy. And yeah, expect the next episode of this to come out within the next week. I actually have the guns ready, just need to record it, edit it, and then get it up to you guys. So lads, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see stuff like this done live, make sure to go follow my stream on Twitch. So it's just twitch.tv/TweaK. And yeah, I'll either see you guys in the streams or I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, my friends. Thanks for watching.